So, spotlight of the week, Alan Larkins, senior sales manager, partner of the Dior Group, just promoted today, actually, as we're recording this video on 8/28. Shout out to Alan Larkins and his team in the AP Group. But Alan, what I want to do, man, of course, Alan's my brother, and you can't tell the resemblance. Brother since, forever, right? Born from the same mother. Alan, what I want you to do, I want you to kind of introduce yourself to everyone. But while you're doing that, can you tell us about your journey into the industry? Like, how did you find it? What were you doing before, all that good stuff?
Yeah. So, I guess I'll start out by telling a little bit about myself. So, I came from a retail background. I was actually, before that, I actually graduated with an accounting degree. Funny thing is, I never had an accounting job at all. But after about a few months after I graduated, I found a company one of my friends referred me to, Verizon Wireless. I worked for them for 10 years, actually. Never thought I would be there 10 years. Just kind of got in for benefits and good commission pay, and kind of grew from there and liked helping people and getting promoted and moving up the ladder, per se, right? So I did that for 10 years, but things started to change at the end of that time frame. Retail business, as we know, was changing. And I went through a time where about 4 or 5 months, I laid off I had 3 different layoffs where I had to come in and actually be the bearer of bad news. And it just didn't sit well with me. And I knew at that time that I could be one board meeting away from either having to move where I didn't want to move or possibly out of a job, even though I was very good at what I did. So I made a decision at that time. I wanted to get out of retail for 2 reasons. One, to have control over my time. Anybody who works retail knows scheduling is crazy. So nights and weekends is something you're always going to do in retail. And I have 2 daughters and a wife, 4 and 14 at this point, and they didn't understand me missing all the events, right? So I wanted to be in an industry where I could actually have control over my time, be off when I wanted to be off, and work when I wanted to work. And on the second thing, I wanted to make sure I could control my income. I was used to making 6 figures with Verizon Wireless, so I wanted to be in an industry where I can do the same, but really based off of my own efforts, and not really worrying about that 5% raise that I'm capped at every year, even if I do outstanding, amazing things with the company, right? So after that, I kind of started out on my own entrepreneurship, started part-time, helping people in the financial industry, and had helped several people. But at the end of the day, when it came down to it, I was still relying on other people to actually bring income in, right? And then when those people weren't working, weren't going out doing what I did, my income suffered. So the reason I got into this industry, actually, obviously, my brother, he joined it before me. And he started out hot, then went cold, and obviously picked back up and took it serious. But the biggest thing that drew me to this industry was I didn't have to rely on anybody to make income. I could literally go out and write 3-5 applications and make $1,500 to $2,500 a week on my own personal opinion, right? Going out, servicing families, helping take care of them, put them in a better situation than my family was, right? Because another part that really drew me to this industry was not only the helping people part, because I told my brother when he talked to me, I said, hey, I don't want to be the Grim Reaper, right? I didn't want to go around telling people that, hey, this is what you get if you die, right? They just didn't attract me. But what attracted me to this industry was the living benefits portion of it, where someone can actually have cancer, heart attack, or stroke, survive, and know they have a nest egg to pull from tax-free, right? So that was the biggest thing that actually got me interested in even thinking about insurance, because if it weren't for that, I definitely wouldn't be doing it. If it weren't for my brother, I wouldn't be doing it at all either, because I wouldn't have trusted anybody else because they would have really made it like it was great and there was no bad in it at all, right? So, and the reason that really drew me is 2015, we lost 5 family members to cancer within that year, right? But we still have grandparents living with cancer right now. But if they would have had a policy like this, that'd have been a so much more better situation than not having something and only having to die for someone to benefit from. So I really love that. I love the education part of this insurance, being able to educate people on college funding, retirement planning, and just having, better resources that have been out there for hundreds of years, but we just weren't educated on them. So that was the main reason, that brought me to this industry, and the fact that I can actually now go out and make income myself, but I can actually go help other agents earn income as well. That was always my passion. With Verizon, I got my brother a job. I got so many people jobs, but I never got compensated for any of that. So now I actually can put people in a position where they can go out, earn some income, help their family, help other families, and really enjoy what you do on a part-time basis, right? So that was pretty much it, man, in a nutshell.
Oh, man, I was over there taking notes, writing stuff down, and kind of to piggyback to what you said. Of course, Alan, he brought me into Verizon Wireless. Then I shared the opportunity of this industry to him. Once I found it, kind of how family works, right? People you care about, you share the opportunity with them. If you think you can help them, you share the opportunity with them. But like you said, man, a lot of people are just like Alan, just like me. We're doing the same job, having control of the time and the income. That's what everybody's looking for, right? Either in this world, people have a bunch of time on their hands and not enough income, which is a problem. And people have a job where kind of like you, making 6 figures a year. I have income coming in, right? I don't have time to spend with my wife or spend with my daughters or anything like that. So a lot of people better relate to you on that one, Alan. And you kind of jumped into the question number 2 in terms of, what made you start building in the business, right? And you kind of touched on it a little bit. But I just want you to speak a little more about why is it so important for, people who want to have that time, want to have that income? Like, why is it so important to start building an organization, start building a team? Because you're building your brand now, the AP group, right? Just about to launch here shortly. Why is that important?
Oh man, it's and again, it may not be important to everybody, but why it was important to me is because at the end of the day, man, leverage is key, right? It doesn't matter how great I am, how much information I know, how many people I know, I still am only limited to what I can reach, who I can talk to, right? I'm not going to run into the people that by bringing on a team, they're going to see on a daily basis or they're going to talk to, right? So I say that to say, I'm licensed in 10 states. So I've been to New Jersey, Maryland, Nevada, South Carolina, North Carolina, Alabama, Florida, all around, right? But at the end of the day, I'm only there that one time, right? I can only help those people that one time. But when I find somebody that's actually in that area that can help those people, I've then since duplicated myself, right? So now, instead of only being me, we have 7, 8, 10 people actually going out helping people. And now instead of my 5 applications a week, I'm able to put 25 for the week on the books, or 30 or 40, or however big you want to build it. And the reason I really love it is it's really at your own pace, man. There's no micromanaging. There's nobody pushing you. There's nobody calling saying, hey, how many people did you see today? How many people did you talk to today? It's really none of that, man. You're an entrepreneur, but we're just here to help guide you and hit those goals that you have for yourself. And then the most important thing is passive income. At the end of the day, every salesperson, no matter if you're number one salesperson in the world, or you're the worst salesperson, every day you woke up unemployed because you have to go out and do the same thing again in order to get a check coming in. But once you actually understand the power of how it relates to get 2 or 3 people just like you going out doing the same thing, you train them up. Now, when you actually making a sale, you may have 3 other sales being made, and that's going to be passive income coming in to you. And eventually, once it gets to a certain point, you won't even have to actually go out and work. You just be really focused on helping other people earn income and hit their goals. And that's called passive income, where it doesn't matter if I go out and do anything. I know checks are going to be hitting daily in this particular industry.
Come on, man. I think when you first started off and said, a lot of people won't use that word, but leverage is key, man. Leverage is key in business, leveraging other people's resources, their time, their talent, their money, right? Because they're buying their own leads, going out helping protect families. But in return, right, passive income is generated. And guys, that's the secret sauce, guys, to getting, time and income back in your life. You have to find a way to start generating passive income. And another key thing Alan said too was there's no oversight board here, right? There's no micromanaging saying, hey, look, you got to go hit this number this month. If you don't, like you might be on the chopping block to get fired, man. Seriously, right? This industry where you can come in, you can learn at your own pace. Then once you get comfortable, right, start sharing the opportunity. That's the end goal for everyone, having that time to spend with their family. Nobody wants to work 60 years of their life, right? Me and Alan, right? Our mother she's 61 and she's still currently working to this day. We don't want that for her. Our goal is to get her out as soon as we can. But our story is similar to a lot of stories. out there. That's why I had to jump on, put Alan on the spotlight of the week because, hey, look, we're brothers, guys. He's 5 years older than me. I know there's other people out there too who maybe have a sibling that they love having conversation with, love talking to all the time. But hey, look, why not start doing a business together? That's why it was so important for me to attract Alan to this business. I had to show him it worked. I had to show him it was real because I knew, hey, look, if Alan's in, we're all in. We're ready to go. But yeah, man, good that we moved through this. So question number 3, right? What's a major obstacle you faced in this business, and how did you push through it, or how are you pushing through it? What tools did you push through it?
Yeah, and in this industry, in this business, the biggest thing and the hardest thing you have to do is learning how to make phone calls, right? Day in and day out. Because thing I love about it is because I tried insurance 12 years ago. Actually, I was still in college. Tried it, and I got hired to a company, and I sat down at a cubicle, and they gave me a phone book and said, "Hey, make some phone calls," right? And then they said, "Hey, you know, on 2 hours out of the day, we're gonna go out and actually knock on some businesses to try to get some clients," right? But totally different here, man. We have a lead system where clients fill out a form and mail it back in, but at the same time, you still have to go through the numbers and work to pick up that phone and call those people to set appointments, right? And then that's the biggest hurdle. Having that set schedule where you're going to stick to it no matter what's going on around you, whether it's I'm going to make phone calls on Mondays and Tuesdays, or I'm going to make phone calls 8 a.m. Monday through Friday. Whatever that looks like, you have to be disciplined to stick to that regardless of what's going on around you. And I tell you, initially, that was one of my biggest struggles because the phone can feel like 1,000 pounds. Like, I haven't met anybody who says I love making phone calls. Even I've interviewed a ton of people. They may say they're good on the phone, but that don't mean I'm going to love to sit down and make phone call for 30 or 45 minutes. But that 30, 45, 2-hour period can book up your week, and you can have, sit down with 10 people, make 5 sales, $2,500 cash flow when you've only worked maybe 15 hours if you really total it up. So as far as your return on investment is huge, right? Money, but also the time part. So I think that was the biggest obstacle. And sometimes it's still an obstacle because especially now, the times we're in, you have virtual schools, you're helping your kids with school, wife's from working at home, you making phone calls, you got to carve out time, whereas this is my dedicated time to go out and set up my week, right? Because I don't have a boss, I don't have to clock in, and that can be a crutch. That can really derail anybody in this entrepreneur space because you don't have a clock to punch in, right? You don't have somebody saying, "Hey, man, it's 8 o'clock. You got to get up and make phone calls," or, "Hey, 12 to 4, that's the time you need to be in the field." You have to set that, and you have to kind of make sure that you hold yourself accountable. And you got to make your calendar, like we say, your calendar your boss, right? If it's on my calendar, this is what I got to do. This is what I need to be doing in this particular time. And it relates to personal life as well. I mean, you got to have good habits. Just like we have bad habits, it took some time to form those. You just take some time to continue to do those good habits, and then you'll be doing it just like it's everyday thing, right? So, and I think that's the hardest thing with everybody, making the phone calls, because like we know, we don't get paid to sell insurance or retirement or annuities or anything like that. We actually get paid to make phone calls to set up appointments, right? Because the appointments we have, the numbers take care of themselves. So the scheduling and just picking up the phone, consistently making those dials to set up your week, I say would be one of the biggest obstacles, you would say.
Yes, sir. Yeah, and that and what you said is 100% true. Everybody who comes into this industry, nobody comes in saying, "Oh, I love making phone calls." Ever in life, and being controlling your schedule, letting your calendar be your boss. That's a phrase we've coined around here because that's it, man. That's all our life is. If you don't have if you're an entrepreneur watching this video and you wake up every day, you don't have a calendar, you don't have a set plan to execute that day, you will be all over the place, right? You will be all over the place, and you will never see your kids, and you will never see your wife, and you'll be good at being busy, right? Not productive, just being busy, right? You got to have a calendar, got to have a structure, and this phone, right? This tool here, guys, this makes us all the money in this industry we need to make. The more phone calls you make, the more appointments you set, the more income you can drive in for you and your family. That's it, man. Alan, one last question for you, man. One last question before we let you go. What advice, anybody watching this video, because it's going to be shared on through all social media, anybody who may just come across this video and watch it, And this industry isn't for everybody. I'm telling people that now. But for those people who were where you were a couple years ago, and looking for something different, looking to gain more time and income in your life, what advice would you give them?
Advice I would give them is to take action, right? We can sit around day in, day out, hoping something's going to change, wishing something's going to change, praying something's going to change. And it's funny, man, I heard this, in one of my services 3 or 4 months ago, where he said, hey, people be praying for a change, hoping and praying and wishing, and, God will give you an opportunity, right? It'll be some money on the ground and you'll walk over the dollar. But you just said you need $50, right? So at the end of the day, man, you have to take action. It's something inside of you that's telling you, hey, I want something different, right? We can't put that in you. You have that feeling inside of you, say, hey, I want something different. And when something presents itself, take action, give it a shot. Only thing you have to do with us is actually commit to getting your taking an online course and getting your state license, right? After that, you're licensed for 2 full years. Nothing really else to commit to, a monthly fees or anything else like that. This is really get your license. The training is actually included, no additional charge. You got a dashboard, you got everything you need to be successful in this industry, but you have to commit, right? You got to take action and commit. So that's what I would say. Anybody watching the video, you have a feeling inside of you that says, hey, man, I want something different. I want more for myself, my family. I want to be able to enjoy and travel or whatever. But if you continue doing the same things, it's not going to get you there. So give it a shot. Follow our system. I always tell we tell everybody, man, you have to completely give yourself 90 days actually following the system here, right? You're going to make money way before that. But in 90 days, your life will be so different if you follow the system, have a consistent schedule, set your week up, week in and week out, and you'll see that the numbers will take care of themselves. So that would be my advice to anybody, is just take action, man. That feeling inside of you, that voice that you're hearing, you got to follow it, right? You got to know that it's something better out there for me. And if you don't, you're literally going to have the same life. And you're going to wake up 20, 30 years from now saying, man, where did it go? Like, what did I do? I missed a lot of time when I could have been doing something different. So I think that's the biggest thing there, man. And I know we're finna get out of here, but I couldn't get off this thing without actually thanking my team, right? Actually, because I really appreciate them for getting me to the spot that I am now. So obviously, I think you already did an interview with Sharina Smith, complete stranger I met back in February via phone call. She applied to an ad, interviewed her. She got a license, got started. And hey, in the first week in the field, she made more than she made in her month working overnight at FedEx. Now, since she's transitioned to full-time here with us, that's just one of the success stories, man. So I got to thank Sharina. I got to thank my mom, who's another one, got started, hit the Ignite Award last month. So shout out to her. I have Paris, who's been with me since day one, as well as several new agents from Shy, Nicole, and Hannah, who are all studying or are already licensed and ready to write, man. So it wouldn't be a promotion, senior sales manager, if you don't have nobody following you at the end of the day, right? So you can be a personal producer all day, but you can't be a manager if you don't have anybody to actually train and lead the way. So that's all I got right now, man. I appreciate having me on for the interview, man. If you got anything else, let me know.
Come on, man. I think you closed it out probably way better than anybody else could have, man. When you said take action. The main thing is take action. People, waste. I'm not gonna say waste time, but people spend time in prayer, praying for an opportunity, and God showed you an opportunity, and you say, "Oh man, that looks really good. God, is that for me?" Right? And you say, "Oh, maybe not." Right? It's something I don't like about it. I don't like making phone calls. I don't like insurance sales. Right? Because me and Alan didn't wake up growing up thinking about selling insurance. That was not our calling. As Alan said, we didn't want to be the Grim Reaper. But the product we sell actually helps people while they're still living, right? Helps them protect their homes from losing their homes. And man, shouting out your team. Your team is rocking. Sharina Smith was on last week's Spotlight of the Week. She did a phenomenal job. Alan, you keep leading by example, because what they say is this in this industry, right? You're not a senior sales manager until you produce a senior sales manager, right? I'm not a regional manager, I produce a regional manager. So that's our goal, that's our fight. If you guys are watching this video, take action. If this opportunity is for you, take action. And last thing, Alan, man, Thank you for taking time out your busy schedule. Let people know where they can find you on social media sites.
Yeah, man. So on social media sites, all of them are the same. It's Alan P. Larkins all across the board. So it's no no hashtags, no anything like that. But actually, our website will be actually launching today. It's be the AP Group. So if you're looking for opportunities, you definitely can go to the AP Group .careers. That's where you can actually find more information as well as request an interview, and we can talk a little bit more if this is something that you're interested in and you've been watching, myself for a while and just really to understand what I do, we can have a conversation 15, 20 minutes, no much longer than that. But that's pretty much it, man.
Let's go, brother. Man, I appreciate you, man. Interview has